Have you ever wondered what's behind the symbols and logos that surround us? What meaning do they hide? What stories do they tell us? On this channel, we invite you to discover the stories behind the symbols and logos that surround us. From the most famous to the most unknown, we will tell you the story of how they were created, what they mean, and why they are so important in our culture. So don't miss this opportunity to discover the stories behind symbols and logos. Subscribe to receive notifications of new videos. We are excited to share these stories with you. The dollar symbol, the secret no one told you. They say money makes the world go round, that it decides destinies, creates empires, and also destroys them. But there's a question almost no one asks. Where does the dollar symbol really come from? That sign you see on prices, screens, contracts, and in banks. Seems simple, everyday, almost invisible. However, its origin is shrouded in history, power, and a mystery that spans centuries. Because the symbols of money are never accidental. They are messages, marks of dominance, signs of who controls wealth. Today we're going to discover the true story of the dollar symbol, and the secret that could change the way you look at it forever. A pre-United origin. Many believe the dollar symbol was born alongside the United States, that it simply appeared when the new nation created its currency. But the truth begins much earlier. In times of empires, conquests, and trade routes laden with gold and silver. For centuries, world trade was dominated by Spanish coins, especially the famous 8-real peso. A coin so powerful it circulated throughout Europe, the Americas, and Asia. To abbreviate the word peso, merchants began writing a P over an S. Over time, that mark was simplified. The P disappeared. The S was crossed by a line. And so, slowly, one of the most influential symbols in economic history was born. But that's not the only theory. Some historians believe the symbol is even older, that its roots are linked to imperial emblems, and to symbols of power that had nothing to do with mere coins. The pillars of power. Look closely at the dollar symbol, an S, crossed by one or two vertical lines. For many researchers, these lines represent the Pillars of Hercules, an ancient symbol used by the Spanish Empire. Two columns that marked the limit of the known world, enclosed by a ribbon in the shape of an S. This emblem appeared engraved on coins, shields, and flags. It was a clear sign of maritime, commercial, and political dominance. If this theory is true, the dollar symbol would not just be a commercial abbreviation. It would be the transformation of an ancient sign of imperial power, adapted to the new world. A silent message that survived the fall of empires and infiltrated the modern economy. Nothing about the symbols of money is innocent. Every line, every shape, tells a story of control. The birth of the modern dollar. When the United States achieved its independence, the young nation faced an enormous challenge. It needed more than political freedom. It needed economic stability. It needed confidence. Thus, the dollar was born. But instead of creating a completely new symbol, merchants and accountants adopted the sign, already circulating on financial documents. A familiar symbol, recognizable, linked to international trade. Over time, that simple stroke began to appear in banks, newspapers, and markets. And what was once a practical abbreviation became a global emblem. The dollar sign began to represent something deeper than a currency. It represented economic power, expansion, global influence. It was the universal language of wealth. From currency to global symbol. In the 20th century, the world changed forever. Wars, financial crises, and new economic systems reshaped the map of power. Amid this scenario, the dollar became the dominant currency on the planet, and its symbol became the most recognizable image of modern capitalism. It appeared in movies, advertisements, video games, and news reports. It became synonymous with success, but also with unbridled ambition. For some, it represents endless opportunities. For others, inequality and financial control. The same symbol, with opposing meanings. That is what makes a symbol so powerful. Its ability to influence without saying a single word. The hidden meaning. Perhaps the biggest secret of the dollar symbol isn't its exact origin, but what it has come to represent over time. Because today we don't just see a currency. We see dreams of progress, fear of poverty, the pursuit of success, constant competition. The dollar symbol is present in political decisions, in trade wars, and in the daily lives of millions of people. It's a silent sign of how the modern world works, a reminder that the economy is also a form of power. The next time you see the dollar symbol, stop for a moment. Look at it for what it truly is. Not just a sign of money, but a fragment of history, an echo of ancient empires, a global trademark, an emblem of the economic power that defines our era. Because behind every symbol we use daily lies a story that almost no one knows. And sometimes, the greatest secrets in the world are hidden in the smallest things. And now that you know the hidden story behind one of the world's most powerful symbols, let me ask you something. How many other secrets remain hidden in plain sight? This channel was created to reveal just that. The stories they didn't tell you, the symbols that shape power, and the mysteries that still influence our reality. If you've made it this far, it means you're also looking to see beyond the obvious. That's why I invite you to take the next step. Subscribe now, and turn on notifications. Because in the upcoming videos, we're going to discover the brands, empires, and symbols that truly govern the world. And believe me, what's coming is even more surprising.